Hey everybody, it's Missy bringing you another layout for the Hip Kit Club. Thank you so much for joining me again. This is my second layout using the 2015 November kits, and I'm going to be scrapping these two pictures of my two little girls on Christmas morning from a couple years ago. And I've went ahead and cut out 6x6 pieces from 4 of the different pattern papers in the kits, and all 4 of these papers are the exclusive papers that you can only get in the Hip Kit this month. And I am using some of Ashley Horton's Christmas tree cut files and some of Nicole's cut files, the little 25 there and the word memories, and then I'm cutting another word that's Mary. And I just pre-cut everything so I could go ahead and peel it off the mat and get started here. I kind of have an idea in my head where I want to go. Let me just tell you that these exclusive papers are so smooth, and the texture is really cool because they're very smooth and shiny, and they cut on a cameo beautifully. I didn't have any tearing, any ripping. It cut like butter, and I highly recommend using these papers on your cameo if you have one, because it was really, really good. Just the blade cut very nicely. So I'm going to use some of the light craft cardstock here for my background, and I wanted to create sort of a line of the Christmas trees going from the left to the right with my two pictures on the side. And I only cut 4 trees here, and I made them a little bit bigger than my pictures. And I'm sorry my camera is crooked. The arm that I used to hold it is starting to get a little loose, and my camera kind of goes crooked when I don't realize it. So there, I think I've got it straightened out now. Okay, so you know me, I have to add some gesso and some paint of some sort to my background, and so I'm going to start out with some white gesso here, and I don't want the lines to be super crisp, and so I use a credit card to smudge it on, but then I want to use my fingers to make the edges cloudy and fade it a little bit. I'm going to use the stencil again. This is the exclusive stencil in the color kit this month, and some modeling paste. And I wanted to create some background texture before I put down those Christmas trees. And I just wanted the image of, little twinkling lights or snowflakes, just some light little circles in the background behind everything. And so that's what I'm doing here. And they don't wind up showing up super well. I don't know if it's because of the modeling paste being white and then I use the white gesso, but you can see them. They don't stand out very, very boldly, I guess you could say. So I'm going to add some teal and some turquoise to the background using the packaging technique and some gelatos. And I'm going to use my little water brush there a few times. And this doesn't have to be perfect here because a lot of this is going to be covered up. I just wanted some color peeking through the trees. And, this usually takes me a while, so I don't show the entire process or we would be here all night. And, I'm just repeating the same thing over and over. Just adding some turquoise, adding some aqua, and mixing them together and smudging it down. And, I don't want all of the white gesso covered, but I want a good part of it covered just to make the background more interesting so you can see it through those trees later. So I've got as much as I want to add for the time being, and now I'm going to come in with the Heidi Swap Gold Color Shine. This is also in our color kit. This has got to be my favorite color of color shine ever invented. I hope I never run out of this gold, and I hope she never stops making it because it is absolutely my favorite. And I just did some splattering there. It's going to add more to the twinkle factor in the background. So I'm going with gold instead of silver on this layout. I've decided now I'm going to take the stencil again and just directly spray the gold right onto it to add more little gold dots. And I've got so much of the liquid left on top of that stencil, I did not want to waste it. So I'm going to just lay it down and then take a napkin and kind of smudge it down so I didn't have to use any more liquid from the bottle. And I didn't want to waste what was on there because that stuff is precious and it's so gorgeous, and I did not want to waste it. So I know it's hard to see here, but there's definitely lots of little shimmery gold circles on there, and it's so pretty. I just really wish I could spray gold color shine on everything in my house, because I would never get sick of looking at it. It's so pretty. All right, so I'm just going to arrange the trees like I think I want them, and then I realized that I don't want them to go in a straight line. I kind of want them to go at an angle, and so I'm going to work on that. I'm going to do some adding of some things, because right now they just look like they're floating in the middle of the page, and I kind of wanted to give them a ground of some sort to stand on. And I do wind up using that gold dotted washi tape, but first I'm going to use another one of the exclusive papers here, and I'm not really using this for the design. Now, you're going to be able to see a little bit of the dots, but a lot of this is going to get covered. But I'm going to use it for the texture that the torn part creates. And I'm going to, since it kind of dips down from the left to right, I'm going to make the trees kind of go at an angle so it looks kind of more realistic. And I know that it's not realistic because, you know, they're not realistic trees, but they're not going in a super straight line. You'll see what I mean as I get going. Now, I wish I would have done this before I did all that background work, but that's okay. I'm going to come in and kind of fix it. I can't have that background looking like it is and then having this paper over it with nothing on top of it. And so I give it a quick coat of the gesso, and then I come back in with the gelatos and I cover a little bit of this up. Like I said, I'm not using this for the dots so much as just adding more texture and giving those trees a place to stand. And the good thing I can say about doing mixed media like this is you can't really mess it up. I mean, it's messy in itself, but if you put down a color that you don't like, just go over it when it's dry with another color, or do some more splatters, or add another layer of paper on top of it. I mean, there's really no right or wrong way to do it, and it's meant to be messy, and that's what I love about it. All right, so now I have a little bit of shape here, and I'm going to kind of create a little downward hill for my trees, and I like that a lot better than just going straight across. I am going to add a little strip of this tape. I love the texture. I'm not sure of the brand. I don't know if this is exclusive or a brand. I'm sure it's on the website, but I have not checked. But I love the texture of it. It tears very easily, sticks very nicely, and it is beautiful. It's shiny gold. I mean, come on. Hello. If I could stick that stuff on everything in my house, along with the color shine, yeah, I think that would make me one happy girl. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is get those trees attached, because I've decided that that's how they are going to look. That's how I like it. And I am going to come through after I stick all these down, and I'm going to do some gold stitching right up the middle of each tree. It's going to give it a little bit of texture, and it's going to give it a little bit of shine. And then I can flip up the edges of the tree. And I'm also going to do a little bit of rolling here with this paper. And I love how that turned out, because it gives it more of a realistic look, as much as this can look realistic, if you know what I mean. I'm going to come in with some white tissue paper, and I like how the white tissue paper always looks. In this case, you know, this is a Christmas page, and so it kind of reminds me of snow and cold, even though we're in Florida, and most of the time we are in shorts and flip-flops on Christmas. But, you know, still, I like to have that feeling on my pages of it being cold. These are the Maggie Holmes gold stickers. They're so cute, and they're perfect for the tops of those trees. So I'm going to add in those little stars, and then I'm going to add in a couple more trees. These are just some of the die cuts from Pink Fresh Studio. And then I'm going to try to find a home for a couple of embellishments. I love that 25, and I'm going to place that there. I just wanted a couple of different things floating around the trees. I'm going to use that acrylic fa la la. Those acrylic shapes are so cool. I wish we could get those in every single kit every month. They are really fun to use, and they're so different than, you know, your typical embellishment. I'm going to use this little frame. It says snapshot on the side, and I just cut it in half so I could use the other half somewhere else later. And before I stick my pictures down, I am going to curl up some gold thread here for a little bit more texture. And my lighting keeps changing. Every time the sun comes out or it goes behind the clouds, the lighting in my whole room changes. Alright, so I'm going to use memories. I cut this in the beginning, if you remember, and I decided that I did not want to use this color. I needed more of that rich pink color. So I didn't want to cut it again, so I'm just going to coat it with gesso and then come in with my gelatos, and I'm just going to try to match up this rich dark pink color using a pink and a red gelato and my little water pen here. And it takes a couple coats to get it the right color, but I make it work. And you know, I didn't want to cut it again. I didn't want to waste this one. I liked how it looked. I just decided to change the color. And I like that much better. I had too much teal going on. I didn't want them both to be a teal color, so. And I wanted the memories to look messy since, you know, I added the gesso and then the gelatos. Every single bit of it is not the same color. Some of it's kind of messy, and I like the way that looks. And both of those words are in the free downloads. If you are a registered HipKit member, HipKit Club member, you can have access to these cut files for free. And the trees are one of Ashley Horton's designs, and the Merry Memories are one of Nicole Noasad's. And there are several different cut files this month. Kim Watson also has a very pretty wreath. There's lots of fun stuff. I think I probably will use some of those cut files on almost every page that I make this month. There are some really, really cute things, and a lot of versatile ones that you can use on lots of different type of pages, not necessarily just Christmas. So I'm just kind of playing around with some of the embellishments here, adding some of those pink fresh puffy stickers. And I'm going to take that 25th sticker off because I realized, hello, I have a big 25 right there. I don't need two 25s on there. So I decided to save that for another page later. I do add that cute little wood veneer, and I believe those are exclusive this month also. Kim Watson has designed all of these exclusive pieces, and she is amazing. I highly recommend this kit. If you've never gotten a hip kit, this one is stunning. And if you've seen the December kits were just revealed yesterday, oh my goodness. Well, not yesterday, not by the time this video goes up, earlier this week. And they are just stunning. Lots of Maggie Holmes in those kits. Anyway, back to this layout. I decided that I'm going to add a little bit of color and texture here to the bottom. And so like I usually like to do, I like to bring in all of the colors that are represented in the bulk of the layout. I like to add little snippets either, you know, at the top or the bottom on the sides. And so I'm just randomly cutting strips. They're not even, but they do, you know, echo the colors that are up in the main portion of the layout. And I do add a little bit of that washi tape. And I'm just going to kind of haphazardly stick these down just so they overlap a little bit and you can see a little bit of each of those. I'm going to add a little strip of the pink, and these are just leftovers from the scraps that I used on my cameo in the beginning. And I'm going to sort through and pick out some of the gold stars. They're really light gold acrylic shapes. They're so pretty. I wish I had a huge container full of those because I use all three of them on this layout here. Just some little haphazard stars going along the bottom there. And I do add a couple more things. This layout's going to wrap up in a second. I did have to cut out a little bit. I didn't want it to be too long, but I did add some stitching. And then I'm going to come in here and add some wood veneer. And I did add my journaling and my date stamp. And that's pretty much it. There's the final page. I love how it turned out. I love those trees. Like I said, the exclusive paper cuts beautifully on the Silhouette Cameo, so give it a try. Let me know if you have any questions about any of the products or any of the things that I used on this layout, and I hope to see you guys again soon. Thank you so much to all my subscribers, and I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you next time.